Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Drive Lounge's podcast, Apex at the Lounge. You join us here in our Westfield venue. Myself, Zach Sweeney, we've got Kamarl and Wesley to talk about all things motorsport, all things sim racing, and we'll jump straight in, diving in with the Monaco GP, lads. Now, usually a bit of a controversial one on the calendar, one for its heritage, its history, but also the fact that the circuit in recent years is a bit naff. So what did we make of the 2026 edition, the new cars, and also the result at the end as well? Kimi going 5 from 5 in the last few races.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say out of all the money that's in Monaco in the Principality, they couldn't even tarmac the track properly.
That is true.
Which to me is just unacceptable. Then you had Checo Perez moaning after 15, and then when he saw Perez strolling the wall, he's like, I told these guys. But no, honestly, the smaller cars did make for better action somehow. And then the cars just looked quite alive. Qualifying was great as ever, and the race wasn't as bad as I expected, to be honest.
No, me neither, to be fair. And I'm not a Monaco hater, but definitely was thinking I don't really care too much this year. But it was really, honestly, Kimi's killing it. That's my boy, man. That's my boy. I feel like he's my brother. I feel like he's my younger brother. Even as he second last corner out of Raskas, obviously. I said to him, I was like, don't drift.
Well, the final lap, of course.
And I was like, wait. No, he's doing so well. That was a good race. Lewis, obviously, I think he's doing well. I was obviously sad for Charles. That was unfortunate, but we kind of touched on it already. It's kind of his fault, You can explain it better than I can.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical information that's come out since to do with braking, and how Lewis's side of the garage have made some adjustments. It was available for Charles. He opted not to go for it, and you can see once the tide brake temps are gone, the Brembos aren't doing what they need to be doing, really. So he's going to be changing for Spain, and hopefully we'll see the improvement and see how close they are together.
It is interesting as well, the Ferrari duo. Obviously the first year of Hamilton and Ferrari wasn't very fruitful. He had obviously the sprint win in China and stuff, but last year it was his first season in Formula 1 ever without a podium. Obviously, you had the woes of Mercedes, his first year in Formula 1 without a win. It's like, okay, cool, at least he's got the podium stat. He goes to Ferrari, and then obviously he drops that. 2026, he seems revitalised, and I think again it's that almost a positive feedback loop. You probably see it again in your real life stuff with drivers. The more often they get a good result, the more likely they are to keep getting good results. And I guess with Hamilton coming into a new year, he's got the monkey off his shoulder in terms of that first podium with the team. And then he goes straight and gets 2 on the bounce straight away. So he really is carrying that momentum with him, and it'll be interesting to see how he can keep that going through the rest of the season as well.
Honestly, I think he's driving really well right now. He looks so happy. Whenever he's happy, he normally gets in the car and does some good stuff. We'll see. What's the next one again? Spain. We'll see what happens in Spain. It'll be fun if I can see another Charles and Lewis battle again.
It's one of his strong tracks. Him, Max, they always go well at Catalonia. Leclerc is also good, so I think the cars will be quite evenly matched, but I think Mercedes will still have the edge, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Barcelona, it's a circuit that there's a reason they use it for testing for so long. It's got a bit of everything. To be honest, it's just a really good circuit. It'll be interesting to see how it does with the new regulations, but it's a circuit the teams have a lot of data at, so you'd imagine the benchmark will be a lot closer, and everyone should be a little bit closer. When we talk about teammates, the Red Bull second seat, Isaac Hadjar's doing a pretty decent job, relative to Max.
He's doing much better than I expect.
Yeah.
He got his podium in the end. He was only 2 and a bit tenths off Max, and Max is amazing around Monaco. And even in Canada, that was the first result in a year and a half where the second Red Bull's got a top 5. So he's really showing what he can do.
I'm surprised, man. I did not think he was gonna.
Really?
I thought he was gonna be gone at least by now already. Yeah, 100%. But then I didn't even know who they'd replace him with. Arvid?
Yeah, that's way too soon. Way too soon.
He's 18, right?
He's born 2007.
That's absolutely insane.
He's younger than I am. Was it 2007 or 2008? I think it's 2007.
Either way, man, I'm so old.
Yeah, it is a bit of a reality check when you look at what Formula 1 drivers are doing at the age, and then it's like, oh, brilliant, cool, brilliant. We just give up.
The worst one was when the stat came out, the first driver to win born after the year 2000, and Piastri got his first one.
That is rough. And speaking of Piastri, he is having a rough season. McLaren as a whole, are struggling. They were on course to celebrate their 1000th GP in Monaco. They didn't because of the 2 DNSs at the start of the season, which is suboptimal. You know, coming from such a dominant display in 2025 and also the resurgence in 2024. I mean, it really ever since 20.
And I feel like George I feel like he might be thinking about it too much, which makes sense. Like even whenever he was behind Lewis, like I feel like sometimes he would crumble. Like Singapore 23.
Yeah, when Sainz won.
He's crumbled a few times. Canada 24 when it was him, Alonso, and then he hit the wall. Trying to keep up.
But like, honestly, I think Kimi he's kind of in George's head. And I love it.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, because you can already see the mind games with George, right? And it's not the same standard as what we saw from Lewis and Nico, because that was 2 sort of titans, I guess, right? But George coming in with the mind games of saying, oh yeah, if I was Kimi, I'd be thinking I've got a lot to lose and blah blah blah. Then Kimi just comes in and says, "Nah, I'm just here for the ride. Like I'm just having some fun." And I think that's the thing. Like because Kimi is so young, there's less of an expectation on him, right? 100%. And I mean, obviously there is an expectation. He's this next thing, the next Verstappen. Mercedes is Verstappen. Toto didn't want to miss out on another one. And almost has taken a bit of a fathership role to Kimi in terms of that mentorship. We spoke about it in episode 2 a little bit as well in terms of how Toto leads that team. But I think definitely the expectation this season when Mercedes do have a dominant car is for George to run away with it and Kimi to play that second support role, and that just hasn't been the case at all.
And it's that thing of like if Kimi does win, it's like, oh wow, like the pressure that George is under, if Kimi does win, it's like, oh wow, George, you've been here for a while and this kid is coming. But then if Kimi doesn't win, he kind of can't really lose because like, oh no, you're only a kid, like don't worry about it, you've got so much potential ahead of you. It's I think
George is in a bad position because like you say, if he wins the championship, it's like, oh, well done, you had the best car and your teammate's 19. But if he doesn't win, it's then how have you not won that championship? Whereas Kimi, if he loses, it's like, okay, cool, whatever, we'll get him next year. If he does, it's like, wow, you beat George Russell and everything. So Kimi's doing really, really well. He spends a lot of time outside the circuit as well, going back to like the karting paddocks and stuff with Toto and Susie. And to be fair, George Dodge as well. They were at Lonato a couple of weekends ago supporting Toto and Susie's kid Jack, who's doing really, really well, getting a couple of podiums in karting and stuff. But I think Kimi as well is in touch with everything outside of the Formula One space, and in terms of a mentality and like a psychological aspect, keeping the pressure off his shoulders, thinking less and less about Formula One when he's not in the car is again quite a good thing to not psych himself out, because when you look at someone like Nico Rosberg in 2016, his life revolved around Formula One, and obviously it does, right? You're a Formula One driver, your life will do, but if you don't have that opportunity to disconnect, you then get into that spiral that Nico Rosberg got into, where it was so unbelievably mentally challenging to take the fight to Lewis. I think Kimi's doing the right thing here in the sense of taking a step back, enjoying the outside world a little bit more. And I think it is playing a part in terms of his driving on circuit, because he can get into the car every weekend with a fresh mind and go again.
100%. Yeah, sometimes I think stepping away is the best thing to do. We're talking about Formula One, but even with me in like sim racing and stuff like that, you'll see it a lot. Like I'll be lapping, I'll maybe do like 20 minutes, and if I'm not seeing improvements, I'll just get up, I'll just walk out, I'll just take a little 5-minute break, walk around, see the sights, breathe some air, come back, and I'll be like, okay, cool, I can attack this in a different way and just think about it differently. So
it's the same with Max. A couple of years ago, he won the Nürburgring 24 on iRacing, got in the car and won Imola, and it's like, everyone's like, Max, he's doing the sim racing, blah, 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 he's a degenerate game.
Crofty was slating him. And even Martin was just like, yo, he's a grown-ass man. Crofty was like, no, but it's unbelievable. I'm like, leave the kid alone.
Yeah, it was Hungary 2023 when he went into the side of Lewis and went up and sort of nosedived, because it was the weekend after Imola and everyone was still the conversation of sim racing and stuff. But I think Max is doing a brilliant job as to sort of bridge that gap. And I guess on the topic of sim racing, we've got a couple of big things coming up as a team.
Come on, we've got a champion sitting next to us now. SDR champion.
First champion to drive line. That's all I'm going to say. Cheers, brilliant.
Good stuff though. How did it feel?
It was alright actually. No, it was really good. Took a pole in the last round, took 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3, so not too bad.
No, good stuff.
Learned through the season. It was good to bring home the first championship. It's not quite a Porsche Cup or a BSRC or something. That's obviously the aim for next year and later in the year potentially. But definitely a good thing to get off and to have I guess experienced. But looking forward for the team. We've got some endurance races coming up. We've got Watkins Glen next weekend. Big shift away from the world of Formula One, but for us as a team, we've now had 6 months of iRacing special events. We've had 2 24-hour races. We've had the Bathurst 12, Sebring 12, in and amongst a few other bits as well. As a team, this is probably the best opportunity for us to show up and deliver a good result at the Glen.
100%.
Yeah, so we've integrated our teachings, how to prepare for an event. All the guys have race practice, how to fuel manage and all this stuff, so hopefully it will come together. It's only a 6-hour race, so a bit less concentration and things to go wrong, so yeah, hopefully it will be a good spot for us.
I think it is going to be a bit of a challenge for some of the younger guys, especially with Watkins, the new track limits.
Oh my gosh.
The new track limits is horrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Insane.
How can that be a slowdown? Like, just if you get a wheel slightly on the no.
But it's also if you just get it wrong, like it's either an off track or you're in that barrier.
Yeah, there's no in between. Yeah, it's like a little ramp jump point as well underneath to just completely destroy the bottom of the car, which is suboptimal. But I guess again for the younger drivers, not for us, as a champion, it's fine. But for the younger drivers, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to adapt to that and be consistent over the course of a triple stint, which in of itself is tiring. But then also couple that with the difficult circuit and also a difficult car in the form of the GT3. Some of them might be jumping into a completely new car for this round, so going to be tough.
Yeah, Watkins is going to be a fun challenge. I'm excited as well. Like I've got that itch. I've been getting that competitive itch recently, so I'm ready to do something.
Nice.
I've been enjoying the LMP2. It's been really cool. Did some practice laps the other day with you. I don't know. It feels really nice to drive. I first did it Road America. Actually, no. The first track I ever did was Glen, wasn't it? Was Glen, with different track limits, and I was getting way too close to that wall. He was like, "Oh my god!" But no, I think it'll be fun. It'll be a good challenge as well. Like, you got to challenge yourself every now and again. I think stepping out of your comfort range sometimes is really fun.
Yeah, and again, rising to that challenge, and it's very easy, and this is a discussion that we've had within the team as well. The younger drivers, our academy drivers, have come through the ranks of Drive Lounge. So they started off as customers, they did our after school academy and stuff, and now they're part of the race team and taking that progress, and they're doing really, really well. But again, it's that acknowledgement that there is still so much to learn and so much to do. And one of the things, and this is sort of what we've adapted our training around, is the fact that for Daytona, they didn't learn how to drive the Mercedes, they learned how to drive the Mercedes at Daytona. They learned how to drive the Mercedes at Bathurst, etc. So they built up the muscle memory and basically just copied and pasted basically our data for each of those circuits. They didn't actually understand what was going on intrinsically with the car. Making that now the focus for Watkins Glen to understand that. But yeah, I think that adaptability from different cars, especially for the junior drivers, this is going to be a really good learning experience for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely different characteristics in terms of how the front loads up on a front engine car, how you manipulate the trail brake into the corner, how you carry the speed into low speed as well. So it's all like starting from scratch really, and actually understanding like the vehicle dynamics and how that will change the balance.
One thing that the drivers need to understand is that over the course of an endurance race is that the track conditions are going to change. The track's either going to get hotter or colder. The track's going to get more, it's not going to get less rubbered in, but it's going to get more rubbered in, which in iRacing is actually slower, which is really backwards.
So bizarre. It feels like you're on glue.
It's so silly. Obviously in real life that isn't the case. And then also, if any wet weather comes in, or tire deg, obviously the fuel load coming down as well, the car is constantly changing how it feels. So no longer can you just go, oh, that's my apex, I can put the power down. Because 4 hours into a race, if you get to your apex and just put your power down as you were doing on lap 1, the car is just going to either oversteer or just completely understeer straight into the wall. So it's actually understanding what the car is telling you. You might still be able to get the same amount of pace out of the car 4 hours in compared to lap 1. But you need to go about it completely differently, especially I guess in a more aerodependent car is the LMP2, which is a little bit more sensitive than the GT3.
It's so sensitive, even to wind direction. Like I did a LeMans Global E race, and the wind direction spun 180 degrees. I had a lot of rake on the car. The balance was beautiful at the start, like in the Porsche S's. At the end of the race, it was really edgy.
Sketchy,
Thanks, guys. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, but and then especially with the Glen, there's a lot of the tyre wear is extreme, quite extreme there, and there is some management that needs to be done, especially with the fronts and then the rears into the last hairpin. The balance changes massively, braking points. You don't want to be locking those fronts as well, so it'll be a different challenge for you guys for sure.
It's an interesting thing you brought up with Le Mans. I did a 24-hour Le Mans last weekend in the Ferrari 296. Obviously Le Mans is this weekend as well in the real life and stuff, and I'll be honest, before I wasn't a massive fan of the circuit. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the event and the heritage and the prestige of winning a Le Mans, but the circuit itself, the circuit itself, you know, you've got the long Mulsanne, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, chill, check my phone a little bit, put that down, do the corner, do it again. Yeah. And then once you get to the Mulsanne, like the top of the circuit, the rest is so good. Indianapolis is such a good challenge. That fast right, combined G braking, obviously getting it stopped, not flipping yourself into the barrier. That was a challenge in the Ferrari. Mid-engine, it's so twitchy as well. And then, like you say, Porsche curves and the 4 chicanes, really, really good stuff. I do also like the Dunlop chicane as well at the start. But yeah, it's just that Mulsanne that's just so long and boring, isn't it?
I mean, like the Nürburgring straight is kind of that, but you deserve that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, exactly. 100%, 100%.
I feel like with the Le Mans, it's just like, okay, here we are.
It's
great.
Yeah, the Porsche curves I think are such a good challenge in terms of like braking and stuff, and also if you get it wrong, there's not a lot of runoff to use, and especially in iRacing, you've got the AstroTurf there. That's sort of what you want to use to open up the corner. You're then going in almost not combined G, but you're also almost tipping the car in before you start braking. And then you're trailing off. You're only using about 30% pressure max. Trailing off very quickly, and then getting almost straight back on the power. And then you're almost having to flip the car back over for the left. The entire time, the steering wheel was very heavy. It was like, okay, cool, I've got grip. But I knew very, very well that it was on a knife's edge. It was very much on the front. And then as soon as it went wrong, it goes wrong very much. Because again, when you do that left into the Corvette, you've got that wall directly on your right hand side, so it is an incredibly challenging complex of corners. And again, for the real life one this weekend, to do that back to back in real life, I mean, in sim it's one thing, you know, the fear factor is there, but nowhere near as much as it is going to be in a GTP, whatever it is, you know, hypercar, LMP2 and the GT3s. Yeah, Porsche curves and Le Mans as a whole, I mean, it's a different challenge.
Yeah, it sure is, and there's you got to run the lowest wings. Going through those high-speed corners, the setup is compromised there, and you just got to have the car on the knife edge and send it.
I mean, as much as I have my opinions about it, I do think it is still quite a prestigious event. Like, I watched is it called Ford versus Ferrari? Or is it called Le Mans?
Both.
Okay, well, either way, I watched that, and that did give me a bit of, it gave me tingles to just the atmosphere of the event, like the amount of people, the dedication that people put into going and watching it, like sitting trackside for 24 hours, watching the entire race. I do think it is, I think I like the atmosphere of it really. I think that part is great. And then also, like, come and make your own opinion. Obviously, don't just listen to me. Like, come through. We're going to be showing it. I think we'll probably be putting it up on this screen. Come make your own opinion. Set some laps. Let me know what you think of it. Convince me. Tell me that Le Mans is better than I think it is. These guys are trying.
No, because it's difficult. I completely agree. I think the history and the prestige of winning at Le Mans, it's like no other. I mean, you go into the World Endurance Championship, it's like, yeah, cool, you want to win the championship, but everyone is going with their pre-season campaign. It's like, okay, how can we win Le Mans? Like, it's not how can we win the Imola 6 hours. Like, cool, it's part of the championship, but it's like, okay, you want to win Le Mans, and that's the big highlight. I mean, it's a test of your engineering capabilities. You know, Peugeot back in the day, the whole hitting, was it 406 Ks on the Mulsanne or something, and that obviously then led into their actual production models, which definitely were not hitting 406 Ks. No offense, Peugeot. But it's that whole challenge of manufacturers arriving, and you know, Ferrari have done the best job over the last few years, and again, the circuit itself, fair enough, you've got the Mulsanne, but that's a challenge in of itself, keeping yourself awake for that long, still being prepped, and then getting to the Mulsanne corner, which is a kink into the heaviest braking zone on the circuit, and then prepping yourself for the very difficult second half of the lap through Indianapolis. And then also, you know, we've talked about it from the perspective of hot lapping. When you've then got night, rain, safety cars, oil on the circuit, lapping traffic, dealing with being lapped as well. You know, that run to Indianapolis where you've got the big sausage curbs on the inside. We had it in our race where we had a GTP go to the inside of that, go up the curbs, tap us, put us off, and then that was 2 minutes of damage, or 4 minutes of damage, I think, put us off the lead lap, and amongst other things. But those are all things that add to the challenge of Le Mans and why it is so great. And you know, a lot of people we have come into Drive Lounge are Formula One fans, right? They appreciate that side of things, and that's great. But the mission here at Drive Lounge, and we've got such an array of different cars, different tracks, is to show you just how broad of a scope motorsport actually is. And I think Le Mans is a great encapsulation of that. In terms of the atmosphere, the engineering, and also the racing quality. You know, F1 gets 2 of those things, right? You know, more recently it's getting the 3rd thing, but Le Mans does everything all at once.
Yeah, and the fans get closer access to the cars, pit lanes, like throughout the whole weekend. Well, obviously Max showing what sports cars are like, and sports cars are probably in the best shape they've ever been in terms of manufacturers, popularity, the competition, how good the drivers are, and so on. So it's a great experience. Obviously, you can watch the entire race here and set some laps.
No, not the entire race. We won't be open for 24 hours. Watch a little bit. That's true. I got to go home at the end of my shift. But yeah, definitely come and experience it.
Right, lads. So now, we're going to stir the pot a little bit. We're going to get some feathers rustled. Okay, we're going to...
George Russell, sorry.
I think he was going to say
I regretted it immediately.
Brilliant.
I'm gone.
So does he have to be here next time? Can we...
Sorry, no, professionalism. I'm ready.
So now, we're going to be talking about our controversial opinions in sim racing, in motorsport. You're thinking about one right now, aren't you?
I'm trying to think of one.
I'll give you a minute. You got one?
Charles Leclerc will never win a world championship.
You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. That's crazy.
Take it you disagree then?
No, I think I agree.
You think you do agree?
I think I agree.
You hate that you agree?
I hate that I agree. Because I want him to win so bad.
So do I, yeah. But it's just...
Charles, man.
In the car, he's extremely emotional. And when things don't go his way, he doesn't bag the points in. He always does something silly or overdrives or overthinks. And yeah, things aren't coming together for him. And I think really now, okay, fair enough, Hamilton is quick at Canada and Shanghai, but you come to Monaco, his backyard, and it's even in the practice sessions, he was always on the back foot, and then in Q3, he was actually hooking up the lap and then sends it too much into back and so on. So I think he's feeling the pressure, and he's got to really dig deep, and I think he will be tough for him.
I mean, what time frame are we giving him here? How long is his career? Because he started in 2018. That was his first season with Alfa Romeo. Yeah, he has been with Ferrari since 2019. So this is his 8th season now with Ferrari. He's probably 27, 28?
He's 29.
29.
Yeah.
He's getting on.
Well, he said he's young. He said he's young
So
in the press conference this weekend.
How much longer are we giving him as a career?
I mean, racing drivers, they're so fit and determined in this day and age. He could do another 5-6 years, but you never know. People like Daniel Ricciardo, he had his fall off that we didn't
straight away
see
just
coming
off
on.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I think technically he's just not there. In terms of when Sainz was at the team, Sainz actually led the team in terms of development, what they done with the car. It's like Sainz led the team, and Leclerc kind of left it up to Ferrari, and Sebastian Vettel told him you can't leave these things up to Ferrari. They didn't really know what they did in that regard. And then Lewis has come in, seeing what's going on, trying to push Fred to make these changes. He's doing these little things, and Leclerc's kind of still trusting Ferrari. And he just needs to take that lead and actually
the initiative,
push.
Because I think I agree. I think Charles just shows up and drives. He just does what he's told, right? And I'm gonna caveat your point. I agree. I don't think he's ever going to win a world championship with Ferrari, which obviously is the goal, and understandably he's committed his career to it, and how amazing it would be if that was the case. But I think he needs to decide, does he want to be a Ferrari driver or does he want to be a world champion?
Yeah.
Damn.
But at some point, again, you look at the other teams, right? Where does he go? Mercedes are pretty locked down, and if they are going to be looking for a different driver, it's going to be Max and not Charles.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe McLaren, but is that more of a sidestep than Ferrari? Are they a bit more technically put together? I don't think I don't see Charles thriving in a Red Bull environment personally as well. In terms of the mistakes that he makes, I don't think that's an environment that he is going to thrive in. Yeah. The best thing about Ferrari for Charles right now, and I rate Charles very much. I think he's a very good driver.
He is a very good driver.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not. I love Charles, but it's just signing that big contract. Just the way things are going this season, it's made me think.
At Ferrari, he is the golden boy, right? Yeah. He can do no wrong in the eyes of the Tifosi, right? If he goes to a Red Bull or he goes to a Mercedes, very quickly he's under a different fan base and under a different lens in terms of the scrutiny. So things like Paul Ricard 2023 get noticed a bit more. Things like Baku and those sorts of mistakes, they start to creep in. Like they start to creep in, and
Miami.
Very quickly it's just listen all the circuits.
I forgot Miami. Miami was shocking.
That is ridiculous.
Low fuel, maximum attack.
No, I'm talking about the race this year.
Fair. I was talking about when he spun on the quality.
He played overtake chicken. He gave overtake to Piastri or whatever. Then I'm going to fully send it on the last lap to get him back, and then spun it off himself.
That's ridiculous. Yeah,
Charles.
It's not looking good. I think that is controversial. I think you're going to annoy a lot of people with that. But I think
I'm
it's a
annoyed.
harsh truth. I think it's a harsh truth. It's sort of that thing that people don't want to admit it,
Yeah.
but they kind of do.
Yeah.
Unless Ferrari sort something out or Charles jumps ship to a better team, I think he's going to win a world championship. So Drive Lounge, expanding. Obviously we've got Norwich, which was the first one back in July of 2024. I've been here for a long time. We opened Westfield as well last year. We've now expanded onto the European mainland, guys. We're outside of the UK. All right, we're down in the Czech Republic at the. I'm just not even going to bother trying to say the shopping centre.
Novi Shikov.
Novi Shikov. That's the one.
Novi Shikov, get it right, man.
All right, I forgot you spoke
Yeah.
Czech. It's fine. Man of the world over here. But are you a champion? Like, come on.
Oh my god, I regret that.
You might speak Czech, but you're not a champion, so come on. No, we're in the centre of Prague. It's actually, we saw some photos of the venue. It's actually really cool in terms of the mezzanine and the space that we're in. But really, really cool that we've got that international now influence as Drive Lounge. You know, we're the first sim racing centre in order to actually do that.
Yeah, it's mega. And then also we're going to be setting up events where you can benchmark yourself against London or Norwich or Prague and see like who's the best in Europe.
Yeah, super cool with Prague. So make sure, obviously, if you're local to Prague or you're looking to go on holiday to Prague, because the Czech Republic
Well,
is
if you
a
have friends in Prague,
That's also
you wanna
true.
race against them. Just trying to get you guys together. You know, if you got friends, call them up, link up, same time, get there, race together. It's going to be so much fun.
It's the beauty of sim racing, isn't it? It's
I'm going to make so many friends.
We're going to make so many friends. You can't wait. You're going to infinitely grow your friend pool, aren't you?
It's going to be like one.